The secret for your dog to live years longer might be hidden in his toothbrush. Did you have any idea about that? It seems too simple to be true, but let's explore a reality that most pet owners completely ignore. When we think about keeping our dog healthy, quality food, up-to-date vaccines, regular walks immediately come to mind, but there's a silent factor that might be stealing precious years from your best friend's life, and it's happening right now, inside his mouth, between his paw pads, in the folds of his ears. We're talking about daily hygiene, the kind that goes far beyond the monthly bath. Max's story perfectly illustrates this. He was a 7-year-old golden retriever, shiny coat, plenty of energy, apparently the image of perfect health. Until one day, during a routine checkup, the veterinarian discovered a generalized infection that started in his teeth and had already seriously compromised his kidneys. Max needed intensive treatment, and it all could have been prevented with simple care that takes just a few minutes per day. Having the right information makes all the difference in your dog's life, and that's exactly what you find here on the Dr. Doug the Dog channel. Let's understand together how hygiene directly impacts canine life expectancy. Many pet owners look at their dogs and think everything is fine because the animal seems clean. The coat is shiny, there's no strong bad smell, the ears look normal at first glance. But this is the false sense of cleanliness, and it can be extremely dangerous. Let's explain why what we don't see is precisely the biggest problem. When a veterinarian examines a dog that the owner considers clean, they frequently find a very different reality. That subtle odor you think is normal might be the first sign of bacterial proliferation. The ears that seem to just have a little wax are actually beginning an inflammatory process. The yellowed teeth you've normalized as part of aging are already accumulating tartar full of harmful bacteria. These microorganisms don't stay put where they started. They multiply, migrate, invade deeper tissues. During a routine consultation, professionals identify fungal infections in early stages in the ears, gingivitis that hasn't caused visible pain yet, discrete dermatitis between the paw pads. These are silent conditions that the owner doesn't notice because the dog still eats well, still plays, still seems happy. But internally, the body is already fighting against invaders, spending energy and immune system resources in battles that could be avoided with simple preventive care. The mouth. Your dog's mouth is much more than just the place where he chews food. It's the gateway for problems that can affect his entire organism. Let's tell how this happens and why veterinarians consider oral health so critical for longevity. Periodontal disease is one of the most common conditions in dogs, affecting the majority of animals over 3 years of age. It starts with bacterial plaque buildup, that invisible film that forms after each meal. Over time, this plaque hardens and becomes tartar, which irritates the gums and creates pockets where bacteria multiply uncontrollably. But here's the crucial point that few owners understand. These bacteria don't stay just in the mouth. Whenever the dog chews, brushes his tongue against his teeth, or when the gums become inflamed and bleed, microorganisms enter the bloodstream. And once in the blood, they travel to vital organs. Documented cases show dogs that developed endocarditis, a serious heart infection originating from oral bacteria. Others presented kidney and liver lesions caused by the same mechanism. Think about it. You brush your teeth every day, use dental floss, go to the dentist regularly. Why shouldn't your dog receive the same level of care? After all, the risks for him are the same or even greater. The skin and ears. Dogs' skin and ears create an environment that can be perfect for developing infections when not properly cared for. Let's explore why these regions deserve special attention in the hygiene routine. Dogs that don't bathe with appropriate frequency or that aren't well dried after bathing accumulate moisture in skin folds behind the ears between the toes. This moisture combined with body heat is exactly what fungi and mites need to thrive. Recurrent otitis, those ear inflammations that constantly return, aren't just uncomfortable. They drain energy from the immune system, forcing the body to direct resources to fight an infection that never completely ends. The same goes for chronic dermatitis. That constant itching isn't just irritating, it interrupts sleep, causes stress, leads the dog to lick and bite compulsively, creating wounds that get infected again. It's a vicious cycle. And what's the impact of this on longevity? When the body is constantly fighting low-grade infections, it ages faster. The organs work under continuous stress, quality of life drops drastically. And what could be resolved with adequate cleaning and proper drying transforms into chronic conditions that significantly shorten the animal's lifespan. The paws. Our dog's paws are true collectors of urban microorganisms. Let's tell what really happens every time your dog returns from a walk on the street. During a common walk, the paws come into contact with surfaces that accumulate bacteria, fungi, cleaning chemicals, organic waste from other animals, invisible toxic substances. All of this gets trapped under the nails in the small cracks of the skin. If these paws aren't cleaned adequately, several problems begin to emerge. Fungi establish themselves between the toes, causing intense itching and redness. Contact allergies develop, leading the dog to compulsively lick his paws. And here's something many don't know. When the dog repeatedly licks dirty paws, he ingests these microorganisms. When there are wounds or cracks, bacteria can penetrate more deeply, reaching subcutaneous tissues and eventually the bloodstream. Infections that start in the paws can spread through the legs and create abscesses or systemic inflammations. Paw care isn't just about keeping the house floor clean, it's a matter of preventing your dog from bringing into his body a load of pathogens that his immune system will have to fight constantly. The science behind the relationship between hygiene and canine longevity. Let's explore what research reveals about how simple care can add years to your dog's life. Veterinary studies demonstrate that dogs that receive adequate oral hygiene live on average 15 to 20% longer than those that don't receive this care. This represents additional years of life. Why does this difference happen? Because each prevented infection means less chronic inflammation in the organism. Less inflammation means less organ wear over time. The heart doesn't need to work harder to compensate for toxins circulating in the blood. The kidneys aren't overloaded filtering byproducts of constant infections. The liver doesn't exhaust itself processing bacteria and their toxins. Let's also talk about microbiota, that balance of microorganisms that live in your dog's body. When good and bad bacteria are in harmony, the immune system functions optimally. But when hygiene fails, bad bacteria proliferate uncontrollably, unbalancing the entire system. This accelerates cellular aging and increases the risk of degenerative diseases. Each dental brushing, each adequate bath, each ear cleaning isn't just cosmetic care. These are actions that literally reprogram the animal's health trajectory, reducing premature aging and adding quality time to his life. There's a silent cycle that begins with small negligences and ends in serious diseases that could have been prevented. Let's understand how this cycle works and why it's so dangerous. It all starts with something apparently harmless: bad breath that you ignore, thinking it's normal for dogs. But this bad breath indicates bacterial proliferation. These bacteria cause gum inflammation. Inflammation generates pain, even if the dog doesn't clearly show it. With pain when chewing, the dog starts eating less or avoids harder foods. Eating less, nutrition becomes compromised. With inadequate nutrition, the immune system weakens. With low immunity, the body becomes vulnerable to other infections and diseases. And these diseases, in turn, overload organs like kidneys and heart. What started as a bad smell in the mouth transforms into kidney or heart failure years later. This cycle is especially cruel because it happens gradually. The owner doesn't perceive the connection between the bad breath from 2 years ago and the kidney disease diagnosed today. But for the veterinarian who understands this process, the connection is crystal clear. Each stage of the cycle could have been interrupted with adequate care. And most importantly, interrupting this cycle at any point already makes a significant difference in the animal's health and longevity. So, what does it really mean to have a complete hygiene routine for your dog? Let's detail the essential care that makes a real difference. Baths should happen at the appropriate frequency for the dog's coat type and lifestyle, using products specific for dogs that don't harm the skin or remove natural protection. After each bath, complete drying is fundamental, especially in areas that retain moisture like ears, skin folds, and between the toes. Dental brushing should be daily or at minimum 3 times per week, using brushes and toothpaste specific for dogs. Dental toys and treats that help with mechanical plaque removal complement but don't replace brushing. Ears need weekly cleaning using appropriate products, always drying well after cleaning. Paws should be cleaned after each walk, not just wiping with a damp cloth, but really washing between the toes and drying well. Eyes deserve attention to remove secretions that accumulate and can cause irritation. But as important as doing this care is knowing how to recognize warning signs. Changes in body odor, even subtle ones, can indicate problems. Persistent itching, excessive licking, redness in any region, changes in breath, difficulty eating, all are signs that deserve investigation. Apparently healthy dogs might be developing internal problems that only a professional evaluation detects. The impact of hygiene goes far beyond physical health. Let's explore how it affects your dog's emotional well-being and behavior. A dog that is clean, comfortable, without itching, without silent pain, sleeps better. Quality sleep is essential for hormonal regulation, memory consolidation, and physical recovery. Dogs that sleep well have fewer behavioral problems related to stress. Feeding also improves when there's no mouth pain or digestive discomfort caused by ingesting bacteria from their own paws. Eating well, the dog maintains adequate energy, disposition to play, interact, and learn. Physically comfortable dogs show fewer anxiety behaviors like excessive barking, object destruction, constant agitation. There's also a deep component in the bond between owner and dog. When you dedicate time to hygiene care, you're literally touching your dog with intention of care, full attention, love demonstrated through actions. This regular gentle touch associated with positive moments strengthens trust and emotional bonding. Hygiene isn't just about avoiding diseases or making the dog smell good. It's a tangible way to communicate love, to demonstrate that you care about his comfort and well-being in all aspects. It's transforming care into daily action. We've reached the end, and it's important to remember the central message that ran through all this content. Poor hygiene isn't just an aesthetic problem, a minor detail in the care routine. It's one of the greatest silent enemies of canine longevity, working behind the scenes, stealing time and quality of life from your best friend. Each prevented infection, each brushing done, each simple care that seems small is actually a direct way to give more years of life and comfort to your dog. These are actions that accumulate, that build a different health trajectory, that protect vital organs, that keep the immune system strong. Remember what we said at the beginning, that the secret of long life might be in the toothbrush? Well, now you know why. It's not magic, it's not exaggeration, it's science, it's prevention, it's love translated into consistent action, and your dog deserves every minute of this care.